What's up guys, welcome to another video here on my channel. Today I want to share with you 10 essential tips for filmmakers. Working in the filmmaking industry helped me to perhaps figure out problems that I may come across on a daily basis, as well as if I make a mistake, for example, I don't make that same mistake twice. So working in the filmmaking industry definitely helped me to tackle those problems and, as I said, not make the same mistakes again. So here are 10 essential tips for all filmmakers. Tip number 1, making films that matter to you. Making films that you're passionate about. Apart from weddings or music videos that you're involved in, personal projects really help your creativity to get to the next level. So make sure you're always involved in projects, even if they're not paid. It's important for you to keep your side projects happening, something that you're really passionate about. If you perhaps like corporate, or you just want to tell a story about a charity that you know, make sure that you get involved, do that in your spare time, and keep your creativity going. These side projects really help you to expand your creative process. And besides, you might have 100% of creative input. You don't have to actually follow what a client says. You can tell your own story about that company or about that project that you are passionate about. So make sure that you keep that live, keep that going, because that will definitely push you to your next level. And even if they're not paid, more often than not, they are very rewarding. So keep that going. Second tip, make sure you study audio, especially if you are like me, most of the time a one-man band. Mini jacks, XLRs, recorders, microphones, decibels, volumes, audio recorders, all these terms can definitely be overwhelming, especially if you just started as a filmmaker. If you find the terms already overwhelming, imagine understanding all these devices and understand how they all work together. But remember, your visuals are only 50% of your film. So you should ideally understand 50% of visuals and 50% of audio. Audio is crucial and is very important for your final film. Third tip, make sure you label your gear. Make sure you label your gear, all of it. I'm gonna give you a couple of examples. My lens, as you can see, is labeled. Batteries, also labeled. And the reason that I said that it's important to label them is because if you go to a shoot that you're only freelancing and you have other freelancers there with perhaps the same equipment that you have, same lenses, the same batteries, same camera, at one point everyone is gonna have all their equipment side by side, and it can be a problem if you have your batteries mixed up with someone else's batteries or your lens. It can be a problem. So for this, I do advise you to label all your gear. Tip number 4, organize all your music as you download them. As soon as you download them, put them in a separate folder or perhaps on a separate drive so you can create your own library. This will save you loads of time. Perhaps you use the same tracks over and over again, or you have a YouTube channel and have a selection of tracks that you use every 10 videos, or I don't know, but it depends on your organization. My system normally is, I have a folder structure with music, different genres, and I save the tracks as I download them. So whenever I want that specific genre, I just go there, browse. I don't need to go to a website again and download that same track all over again. Perhaps I don't have internet or I have an internet problem. I think this tip is actually very useful. And if you have saved in a separate hard drive, what you can do, if you go on to a trip, for example, you can actually take that specific drive with your music. Perhaps you're going to a remote location and you don't have access to the internet. You do have a selection of tracks that you can actually put in the edit and see if it works. Maybe you don't want to use that track on your final video, but at least you have something to actually base your edit on. This, in my opinion, is very helpful when it comes to soundtracks. Tip number 5. Foley and its importance. This tip is more for those of you who are more into indie films or perhaps short films. It is related to post-production, sound making and sound producing. Foley. We may well think that Foley is more related to Hollywood films or bigger productions, but I don't think so. For those of you who don't know what Foley is, in a nutshell, Foley is the creation of specific sounds for specific scenes or specific requirements that you have for your film. Not to mention that Foley can add a huge production value to your film. And if you're interested in Foley, I'm leaving in the description below a link to an amazing film called The Secret World of Foley. It's amazing. I definitely recommend you to watch, and it'll definitely give you ideas for you to create post-production audio for your next film. I'm sure it will. Tip number 6. Tip number 6 is about understanding pricing and valuing your own work. Or should I say, value your work first and then understand pricing. Pricing is a super tricky subject. It took me years to actually come to an understanding that I'm not ripping people off if I set a certain amount as a daily rate or as an hourly rate or whichever rate you use, system you use. And I also didn't want to feel that I was working for free or pretty much doing a favor for my client. And the latter normally happens if A, you don't value your work, B, you don't treat your work with a business mindset, and C, you're scared of your client saying no because your budget is really high. So these 3 things normally happen and impact directly when deciding how to price your work. So value your work first, do a bit of research, see what people or other freelancers are charging overall, but don't go only based on what they're charging, because you might not be happy with that rate, or perhaps you slightly over the average rate and you end up not getting any work. But make sure that you study the average rates for your skill set, obviously your level of work, and just go for it. Don't be afraid, don't be scared. It's just like any other job. 7. Working hours during your day is extremely important, but you should know when to take a break. Having a set schedule might increase your productivity in a way that you might not even believe. Learning how to balance your day and knowing when to give yourself a break is vital, is very important. And for this, I'm gonna share with you guys a video and a blog post, or I'm not sure if I can find the video anymore, but I'll definitely find something related to that post of a photographer that I follow and I've been following for probably over 5 years. His name is Jarvis. He does have a schedule that is just incredible. I followed for a bit and it's just incredible. Your productivity goes like, it's just amazing, and you still have time for your daily tasks apart from obviously working. Especially if you work from home, you know how hard that is. So you still have time to do your laundry, to wash your clothes, or to walk your dog or anything like that. Trust me, it's just incredible. You can achieve a lot more and become a lot more productive if you follow a schedule. And this schedule is pretty good, so link is in the description below. Tip number 8. Alongside tip number 7, this one is more related to your creativity, how to actually expand your mind and have great creativity, which is something that we're always seeking, isn't it? So to me, something that is really important is to do something else apart from filmmaking. I know that we all love filmmaking. I do. It could be running, skateboarding, yoga, or perhaps a 5-minute walk around the park. Just make sure you do something else apart from filmmaking to actually see different things, new things, and perhaps give you new ideas to literally restart your creativity and refresh your mind, and you can have a different approach when it comes to filming as well as editing your films. I'm sure by doing this, you're going to be able to extract a little bit more of that creativity. That's what we're after. Good creativity! Sing, dance, I don't know what you want to do. Do something else apart from filmmaking. You'll see that definitely help you. Tip 9. Tip 9 is something that is not great. I know that not many people enjoy it, and it's about rejection. But obviously, if you think on the negative side, rejection is terrible. As human beings, we have this thing that we don't like to be rejected. It could be in a relationship, or it could be being fired from your job. It could be any kind of rejection. We don't like to hear the word no, and leaves us in a terrible position sometimes. But rejection isn't always bad. Let's say you pitch for a job and you're expecting a yes because the company is great, you know you can actually tell a great story, you're already thinking about all these camera angles and all these different frame rates and everything you can add to tell a great story, and then what happens? You hear a no.
Oh, I'm sorry, we decided to go for someone else.
You sort of can't believe, but at the same time it happened. So don't worry about it. what I would suggest is follow that company, see what they've done with that specific project, see what kind of filmmaker they picked, see the final result, see if you like it, do something similar. Put in your portfolio. If you really want to work for that client, put in your portfolio something similar. And perhaps next time you can, when pitching, you can get the job. So instead of focusing on the negative side, on the no, on the rejection that you had, make sure you learn with the situation and add that as a positive outcome. Because if you do focus only on the negative sides, you're not gonna get anywhere, especially as a freelancer, really. You do need, because I would say in a ratio of like, I don't know, 0 to 10, if you pitch 10 jobs, or let's say that you pitch 12 jobs, one every month. Please don't only do 12 jobs a year, but let's say, right? If you're pitching 12 times in a year, most likely you're gonna get what, 2 of those jobs? So if you pitch 10 jobs every month, let's say that you pitch 10 times every month for different industries, for example. If you do get 2 jobs every month and you charge, and you remember, you value your work, you know what your pricing is, doing 2 jobs a month should actually give you a pretty good income throughout the year. So instead of focusing on the rejection, on those 8 rejections that you had, focus on the 2. Make sure that you tell a really good story. Think about those angles that you were thinking about the one that you were rejected. Yeah, just focus on these 2 jobs that you have now is the best thing. Trust me. Don't focus on the no's. Don't focus on the rejection. Focus on the positive results that you're achieving as a filmmaker. And our tip number 10. How do you guys feel about me practicing my Irish accent? I should practice my Irish for my Irish roots. I actually don't have any roots. My roots are Italian, but I lived in Ireland and I think that this should count as roots. So I, from now on, shall practice my Irish accent and give us a Guinness, will you? For tip number 10, I would say positivity whenever working. So whenever you work, be always positive and put that smile in your face. I mean, I'm joking, but trust me, that makes a difference. It might help your day to be better and might help other people's work and jobs and days to also be better. So make sure you smile loads and be positive. Apart from actually helping your day and other people's day, I can guarantee you that you might approach any problems that you may come across during your shooting day in a completely different way. If you're negative or start your day in a really kind of tense, really bad vibes, and you know, you're not feeling that well, but you're like, ah, dang it, whatever. If anything happens, you might not be able to resolve a problem in a, let's say, in a witty manner. So I would suggest you to always smile, be positive, and shoot better. As the guy from Cinematography Database says, plan better, shoot better, and be positive and be happy. That's it. That's it, my friends. And these were my 10 essential tips. Thank you guys very much for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next video.